So right here, what you guys are seeing, can you guys hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what you guys are seeing is the way the market moves. This is how price action actually moves. Most of the time, it don't look as pretty as the way it looks here, but this is how it actually moves, and this is how I'm able to catch these moves. Berto's able to catch these moves, because of these repeated patterns within the market cycle. And let me show you what's going on with gold in the weekly time frame. I mean the monthly time frame. I know earlier in the chat I had posted that we may be seeing gold start dropping, but what may actually start happening is that gold may just give us a pullback, a false move to get some traders to start selling, and then it's just gonna dip on them and it's gonna keep going up. Look at how this is how the monthly time frame is looking. And as you can see, price looks like it wants to reach these price areas. So it looks similar to what this image looks because this is exactly how price moves, no matter the time frame, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour. When you see a structure like this, just know when you see this happening, it's gonna move either this way or this way. So we start looking at the lower time frame to try to get uh a visual on where we're going to enter to go to keep following the trend, whether it's an intraday trend, which is 3 pushes like this within 3 days, or an intraday trend, which is 3 pushes, but within 24 hours, which is that would actually be like a pullback to continue the actual trend. So the monthly closed at 1551. Um, and we may, when market reopens, we may actually get another strong candle. This is the monthly, but on the lower time frame. Look at what's happening here on the daily time frame. Look at these repeated patterns. Price was giving us a bearish consolidation. After that, it broke out, gave us 3 pushes. One, stop, another push, consolidated, another push, and then it's repeating the same move, and it broke out again. So what's gonna happen is my bias for next week was to sell gold, but like I said, I don't want to sell on the pullback because I don't want to get caught. I don't want to be caught selling because the way it's looking on the monthly, it looks like we're gonna keep pushing up. And if gold keeps pushing up, then USD JPY is gonna start pushing down, like for sure. This is the same monthly I showed you, but it looked better on the phone. But it's the same monthly, it's just on Trading View. Let's look at the daily time frame right here. And this is what I tell every trader: mark up all your consolidations, because when you mark up all your consolidation zones, you'll start to notice you start to notice these pushes that I talk about when I post stuff up within the group. Very important. If you want to know where you at in the trend, or if you want to know when to buy or when to sell, you gotta mark up your consolidation zones because it's gonna it's gonna show you the breaking points of where the actual trend is moving, whether it's a 3 day trend, the intraday 3 day trend, or whether it's uh 3 pushes within 1 day type of trend. I know you guys see the pushes. 1, 2, consolidation, 3. And what happens during consolidation, that's when the banks, brokers that know how to manipulate price, that's when they trap buyers and sellers. Trap them, give them a false move up, come back down on them, and then they dip on them because they're actually following what's going on with the actual trend that they're moving on. Same thing here. This is all consolidation. Trap falls real, trapping traders to buy, sell, and then they'll dip on them. Because I'm sure so many traders, when they seen these 3 candles right here, they said, "Oh, I'm gonna start selling." But no, it kept consolidating until it broke out of that consolidation, and it's following this repeated pattern right here, as you can see.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So how do you know when to close your trade out after the breakout? Like as soon as it starts consolidating, or uh, like how do you know when it's going to start consolidating?
Well, it depends on the trend. If this was on a 1 hour time frame, because I mark my when I look for my entry, I go to my 1 hour to mark my consolidations. Then I go down to the 15 minutes or to even a 30-minute time frame. And like I said, it depends on the trend, because if it's giving us once you get the low of the week, of the day, and you get that 3 days up from the following week, you already know that this market cycle structure right here, this played out the way we called it last week or something, just like that. If you understand this right here, when you get a peak formation high, that a M is formed and that first leg drop, this is how you identify your levels. When this leg drops right here and it passes this last high, this is how you confirm your level 1. It consolidates, gives you a false move up, because you got to remember that a lot of traders, they set their stop loss at 25 to 50 pips. So the banks, the people that have sort of that control over the market, they know to manipulate the price to give you that false move, pull back 25 to 50 pips up, to take traders out that's trying to buy again, because they think this up movement is going to continue. And then they start dipping on them again. And again, 25 to 50 pips is your false move and your pullback to start breaking out again, to complete this market cycle, the first half of the market cycle. So consolidation always happens after that first push, second push, and you get your false move within that consolidation to trap the buyers and the sellers that think that it's gonna reverse, but it's not. Do you understand what you're seeing?
Yeah.
When you look at your chart, do you see this? Like, Have you seen this type of structure?
Not exactly, no, but I'm gonna look for it now.
And this is and you will identify this structure like I tell every trader, mark up all your consolidation zones. When you start marking them up, you're gonna see these moves happening. You're gonna be like, oh, how did I not see this before? This happens hands down, no matter what.
And it only usually does 3 levels.
Exactly. And if it gives you a extended push, that's when divergence will come in. And divergence, let me show you this. Divergence will come in where price will give you this higher high and it pushes the opposite way from, say, if you're using stochastic or the RSI oscillator, it will push the opposite way. So, like, look, you see the three pushes here: one, two, three.
Mhm.
Consolidation. I mean, divergence will come into play, and you identify divergence because the RSI is always pushing the other direction. It's like giving you a visual, an outlook that the trend is about to come to a stop and it's about to reverse. I had shared this in the group too. This is very detailed. This is very important right here. You can tell. Look at price. One, two, three. Three pushes. Once you start to identify these three pushes for homework, you guys should always do this. I've been doing this since day one. Um, Marking up my consolidations. And once I started identifying these three moves, I said, damn, this is straight price action. Like even without like you don't even need no indicators to know that the market moves like this.
Yeah. So pretty much after the third level, the market's gonna switch trends and go the other way.
Exactly. All the time. And it doesn't no matter the currency, the commodity, even in stocks. I've seen it. It just it happens. And the reason why it happens is because there's a certain amount of daily pips, right? That say this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a certain amount of daily pips that each currency gives out. And once that amount of pip is totaled and is gathered, then the market tends to pump the brakes, and it tends to start a reversal to continue this market cycle structure. And once this is done, it resets, and then it's either gonna follow through with what the higher time frame is giving us, weekly, monthly, to continue the long-term trend, or it's gonna reverse to start a new trend.
So what time frame do you usually look for these levels on all time frames, or do you have like a specific one?
I mean, as you can see, look, this is what's going on now with gold, and this is the monthly time frame. So it's powerful when you can catch it on a higher time frame because you already know the direction. You already know that the structure is telling you long term we're going up. So now start going down to your weekly, your daily, your 4 hour time frame, your 1 hour time frame, so that you can break it down into bits, and you start to see, because when you see this here, it's also happening in your weekly. You just got to zoom all the way out so that you can actually mark up your consolidation zones and break it up apart like that. You get your entry at the right time.
What you got up in there? Oh, okay, cool. One on your desk. Yeah, that's just so you what I did, so they can't say we didn't do shit. Stayed on that hoe. How you love that Pablo?
Okay, what we got? We got three. We got two people plus me. Okay. Now this is the USD JPY, the weekly time frame, and price finally broke out that consolidation it was in for a few weeks, which gives us a good indication that we're going to keep pushing down. And what I just showed you guys with gold, the probability of gold pushing up more is very high. So come next week, I know me and Berta will agree that USD JPY may continue to push more down. May continue to push more down towards the 105 area, which is about like 300 pips. It may not happen in the whole, it may not happen so sudden, but that's the direction of where price may be heading before it stops and, and starts pushing up again. Because also look at the way this structure looks nice right here. This looks beautiful right here. As you can see, this right here, this is the market cycle structure right here. The same thing I showed you in this image. Doesn't matter the time frame, but you will get this right here. Just like that. It looks sloppy as hell on this side, but look how beautiful it looks when it comes up. 1, consolidation, 2, consolidation, 3. You mark up your consolidation, it breaks up your levels and you'll be able to see them more clearer. This, I would not trade. Even though this is got 3 levels, you even got some divergence here to confirm the reversal, but this looks sloppy. And this is the weekly. This is long-term trading. But it doesn't matter the time frame. That's just how the market moves. So I think this is good homework to do. Mark up your consolidation zones. Pick one currency pair. Go back a few months, and you'll see you're gonna be like, oh wow, this actually does happen all the time. Any questions?
So when you start to mark up your consolidation zones, you recommend starting with just the monthly and then just start going under the weekly.
I recommend. When I say check the monthly, if you see it happening in the monthly, mark it up. Yes, but I personally like to check the monthly and the weekly to get a sense, a visual of direction of where we moving, where the trend is going. Like that, I go to the daily. I see how the previous daily candles close and how the structure is forming. How it matches up with what the monthly and weekly is showing me. But I really mark up my levels. I really mark up my consolidation zones on the 1 hour and on the 30-minute time frame.
Okay.
This is gonna help you a lot. It's gonna help you understand um, that price moves this way no matter what. It may not be as pretty as it looks here, but it will show you it in different variations. As long as you start to get a nice understanding of it, you're gonna start it's gonna start making more sense to you that this is how it moves. And once you understand that divergence will come into play. We'll speak about that. We'll speak about that as well also, because divergence is a good topic. It helps you catch that early entry to get in at the bottom or at the top to catch that nice drop or that nice buy.
So like on this one, on this hour chart here, like where would you enter at after the divergence? Like where would you enter at?
The reason why we enter here, price wasn't trying to we had confirmation on the higher time frames that price wasn't trying to look how many times it touched this resistance zone, like 5 times or something. you know but there wasn't really any divergence to get in. We was waiting for the breakout.
To go down, right?
Right, it happened.
And then yeah, then I see the levels right there.
Right, yeah, you see them building. You gotta, and it's, and every 3 pushes you get some type of reversal. A lot of people have hit me up like, oh, I use it for scalping. I get 3 pushes on the 5 minute, and then I'll get a quick 10 pips. I don't advise people to do that, but it works, because that's how price moves.
Mm-hmm.
There's some divergence right here. Like, this is sloppy as hell, but you have 3 pushes here.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? How divergence is.
Yeah,
Price.
I'm trying to find the 3 pushes. It looks like, can you like draw the lines at where it's at?
This shit sloppy as hell. Like,
No.
I wouldn't even trade this because it's so sloppy. It's just this to confuse a trader. Like, I trade the when it looks pretty to me. That's what I trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, the previous UJ drop, that was pretty nice.
oh,
Pretty,
that was great.
yeah.
And if you look at the weekly time frame, that W structure looks amazing, and it already gave 3 pushes, 3 levels up.
So even that it already gave 3 pushes down, you guys still think it's gonna go down? It's not gonna do a divergence?
Which pair?
The UJ?
I mean, the anticipation for UJ is to keep pushing down because the way it's looking for gold, they trade the opposite way from each other.
Mm.
Um, it's for it to keep pushing down without a doubt. So, like I said, we may get a pullback, a false move up. But the way that weekly candle finished, a solid engulf bearish candle
For gold, right?
for UJ.
Oh, UJ.
Yeah, that weekly candle. That's another strong confirmation that price may continue to push down.
Mm.
Yeah, this is GJ right here.
You think that's gonna go down too?
It's a possibility, yes. It can. We'll see. I usually focus on UJ and gold, but UJ and GJ sometimes they tend to move the same way,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that too.
you know. But look, you see, got the three pushes here. One, two, three.
All right.
This may just be because you know, due to the weekly structure, this may just be a it may just be a false move down, and price may just continue to push up to follow through and keep giving us. That's long term, but even it's a lot of pips, too many. But you know, because you know GBP pairs they give out a lot of pips, a lot of liquidity. You know, for GJ it's not weird when it pushes 300 pips. You know, pretty fast. So drawing up your zone to zone support and resistance, very important too. You know, it gives you a visual of where price been revisiting. You know, because price always want to go back and retap that area to decide if it's gonna break through it or if it's gonna bounce off it and come back down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would recommend you guys to, when you get a chance, take one currency pair, UJ Gold, an EGBP pair, and just mark up your consolidation zones
On the hour and 30 minute, right?
on the hour and 30 minute. Yes, you see the same thing that happened here is happening right here. So I do see what price is developing. Yes, we may get a push up, or we can even get a solid red candle, red bearish candle, and price may still give us start pushing up due to the how that monthly structure looks. What do you think?
Um, I thought I was gonna bounce off that zone you had, but
Right here, right?
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's all about structure. When you see this structure happening like this, it's about following through and making sure that we get in on what's happening.
Because those two red lines you have, that's a zone, right?
Right here?
No,
Oh, oh,
up,
this right here.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Support and resistance zone. Um, so we know when price do reach this area, if it does, we know that it will pump the brakes and it will start pushing down. And if so, then UJ will start pushing up.
So okay, so if it does start pushing down from that zone, and starts going down, then UJ is going to go up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Remember, gold trades against any USD pair. So
But you think it's going to break? You think it's going to break up though because of the monthly?
uh,
Uh,
due to the due to the structure and how it looks, um, long term, yes, I think we may get some pullbacks, we may get some false moves up. I mean down, but I think the visual and the outlook is to continue buying until further notice. Continue buying.
do you recommend trading the pullback or no?
Unless you would know how to. No. And it's not even worth it. I think you get in on the pullback to continue what the trend is giving you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say on the 1 hour during Asian session, um traders tend to put a 25 to 50 pip stop loss, which is huge depending on your investment. And that's why market makers, banks, they tend to hit the stops, take you out before they continue pushing with the trend with what's already moving to
Mm-hmm.
continue pushing through with the levels.
Yeah.
I've shared this also in the group. This is very important. And I'm sure you guys, well, maybe some of you, if anybody's familiar with divergence, you've probably seen price and the RSI when they move the opposite direction from each other. It's because there's going to be some sort of price reversal or something. But this is powerful right here when it comes to counting your levels, because when this comes into play, this type of divergence reversal, depending on the time frame, you in for a good catch. You in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend, like I was saying, everybody take a pair, go back a month, and just mark up all your consolidation zones on the 1 hour time frame, 30-minute time frame, and you'll start to see these levels develop.
Mm-hmm.
This is what price give to us. A lot of traders don't know this. They either trade off support and resistance all the time, but they just don't see these patterns, this type of pattern develop. And this is without indicators. Like, you don't even need um to use EMAs for this. Just by you drawing up your consolidation zones, you'll see these levels break apart from the consolidation zones, and you see them develop. It's very important.
Once a candle breaks through the consolidation, um, do you recommend trying to get on that, like get on the trade then, or wait for the little pullback and then wait for it to hit the next level? Or
I mean, when the candle breaks out of the consolidation zone, depending on what level you in, if it's starting level 2, then yeah, you can get on that trade because level 1 is already done.
okay, but I mean like, so you want to like wait for level one to complete though, so you know like for sure that's a level one.
Yeah, because like I said, if you're trading out of a M, which means that we're gonna start selling. Once that level 1 starts once that level 1 is done and price starts to consolidate, the M is confirming that we're gonna start pushing down, and we need two more levels. We need two more levels to complete the first 3 pushes down, and then we may get that W type of formation structure to give us indication that we may start pushing up the same way it looks here.
Got it. It makes sense now. Cool.
you know. And it's like I said, it may not look as pretty as the way it looks here, but a lot of times you may catch it depending on if you have a favorite currency pair or a favorite indices or something. You may catch it the way it looks like this, but most of the time we get it in different variations that may confuse you a little bit. But as long as you can mark up your consolidation zones like this, you'll be able to break it apart and understand what's going on.
Hmm.
And good thing we're recording this so you guys will be able to watch this all over. And I'm gonna see if we do another webinar on Sunday before the market opens up, or even during the market. Like I like to I trade USD JPY and gold and GBP USD. Those are my favorite. But sometimes I like to just go hunting for what this is showing us, the market cycle. Because if I see it on a pair like NZD USD, best believe I'm gonna catch it because I know it's gonna happen the way it looks here.
So it happens the same way any pair.
Any currency pair, any commodity, any stock, you name it. This is how price moves no matter what.
Yeah, that's a strong pattern.
So guys, we're gonna leave this here. I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who came in late, I'm sure Berto is gonna upload this to the webinar list, and you guys can rewatch it.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good weekend, and I hope you guys made a nice amount of money too.
Yeah. All right. You have a good weekend too.
All right.